Wait, no. Music. Oh, no. The music is horrible. Oh, goodness. That's so disappointing. Donkey Kong, welcome. Shit, what was the song? Is this it? No, that's not it. Nick, welcome back. I wanted to have an awesome musical introduction to this third hour of the stream, but I failed.
Whoever that Bajo Bear guy was, stand-up guy. Nothing bad to say about him. Not at all.
It sounds like you're just being polite, and you have other things to say about this Bajo Bear individual that we've never heard of nor interacted with.
Seems like
I feel though you have some sort of like outside perspective.
Seems like a real stand-up fella to me. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that guy.
CM Gonzalez, welcome. Nick has just disappointed me by not talking shit about Bajo Bear. I was giving him every opportunity, and he failed to.
I nothing I can say bad about the guy. He seems real straight arrow kind of guy. Seems like he knows about cars. Photography. He's a photog, I hear.
Donkey Kong is like, Bajo? I hear he sells cars.
Yeah. He seemed really, really smart, not retarded at all. At all. Can you please delete that last video that I streamed with you?
So like the fourth hour of last night?
Yeah.
You want me to?
No, I'm just joking. You can leave it up.
Well, if you no, like seriously, like this is literally the third time you've jokingly brought this up. If you want, I will delete the last hour of my material for last night.
No.
I don't give.
Now I just advertise it to everybody that's watching. They're like, "Oh, I'm definitely watching that now." And to see Nick just drunk, I think like I rewatched it. I was like, "Oh no, dude, I don't remember going to sleep. What did I say in that like last hour?" And I like was rewatching it, and I'm like, I don't even think that I remembered that it was live. I think I was just talking to you, like personally or something.
Yeah.
And then you would say something, and then I would just like kind of in my like you can see me just like kind of disregard what you said, and then just say the same thing again.
Yeah.
Over and over, like
it was funny, like for sure.
All right, well.
Because like I kept trying to take like different perspectives on the same thing.
Oh, I know.
And it never worked.
I know. I hate when drunk people are like that, and then there's video evidence of me doing it. You know.
Well, like I'm saying, like I thoroughly enjoyed the last hour, but if you legitimately want me to take it down, I will. It's not a big deal.
It's good. Like I said privately, shame is good for me. Like I think that there needs to be more shame in the world. So it shows me like, don't do that again, Nick.
Everybody watch the last hour and just like shame Nick.
It was the first hour, or I don't know if it was your first hour, but it was my first hour, and it was so good. We were talking, and then you just slowly see me go into this drunken state of not realizing that I'm on a live stream. Anyway.
Warbear, welcome. But Nick, to be fair, to make you feel a little bit better, is I've had streams that are posted that I was significantly more inebriated than you were last evening. And
I've watched
like like to the point where like one time I was talking to Trainer Bear, and the next day, Trainer Bear was like, "Dude, I'm literally like embarrassed. Like, I please delete your last video because he was embarrassed for me at how just like sloppily drunk I was. But I still posted it. Like, yeah, I made a mistake. I drank too much and I live streamed. That
Right,
doesn't mean I'm gonna lose the episode, but if
right.
you want me to delete your shit, I will because
No,
that's on you.
it's totally fine. I'm kind of joking like about it. Like
Well, I know you are, but like
I'm
you're
getting
joking about it a lot.
what?
I know you're joking about it, but you're joking about it a lot. And so, like, if subconsciously later on you're like, oh, I was joking about this a lot because I want this taken down, I get it.
No, but
I've
like
been.
in real life, when you make a mistake, you can't just say, "Hey, can you Control Alt Delete on that?" Like I
Well,
want,
like,
I
I
kind of wanted to
understand
do
that's not
it,
how real life works, but you
but
have the opportunity to control or delete if you so desire.
right, and there's a part of me that kind of likes it being out there because then it's shameful to me, so then I just won't do that again. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it also sounds like you really want me to delete this. So I'll delete the last hour from last
No,
night.
see,
Big deal.
now you're sounding like me in the fourth hour where you're not listening to me.
Well, no, like I'm listening to you, but like you keep making like, oh, I'm joking about this, but also I'm kind of low key embarrassed about this. And like if like for me, from my perspective, like if you sound embarrassed by this, then me like that sounds like I'm helping you out. And like I
I
don't
didn't
give a
hear that
fuck
last
about like
sentence.
the volume of content that I make.
Can you hear me?
Radio check?
Radio check.
Radio check. How do you read?
10-4.
Got you loud and clear.
Okay. You just
Uh,
you got a little grabbled there for a second.
yeah, no worries. So what I'm saying is like uh
It's all good.
I understand
Not the
you're
group.
completely okay with me keeping the last hour of the shit up.
Completely okay.
That being said, is you've made a lot of jokes about this, like self-deprecating jokes.
Right.
And
I'm joking. It's fine. It's fine. If you were like, "Oh yeah, for sure," and you delete it, I'd be like, "All right, cool." And then, but the fact that you said no first, like when I first asked, I thought about it and I was like, actually, it should be up. Don't get drunk, you assholes. And also, you, Nick, stop getting drunk and drinking too much. See, what happens is I'll stream with you and then I'm just taking shots because I'm not thinking about it, and
mhm.
I'm all good, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and I just won't do that. So it's a learning experience. Anyway,
So do you want me to click delete?
no, don't delete it. Don't delete it. No.
Are you sure? I will click delete to say to help you like whatever. Like
Can we get a change the subject in the comments, please?
all right, yeah, everybody in the comments change the fucking topic because Nick is drinking and I'm trying to make him feel good and obviously I'm doing the wrong thing.
Delete mine. No,
So
oh, yours was fine. I watched the whole thing. You were fine. He was talking really bad about me for some reason the whole time. I didn't get that. That was kind of off-putting. Yes, exactly, Handy Adam. Exactly. That's what it I did a double take on, like, why do I want that deleted? And it was kind of a selfish like desire. And then you know what, it also tied into what we were talking about in the stream, which was pride. And I think it hurt my pride, right? So like that's some multi-layer shit there, you know?
oh. So Handy Adam is saying is what do you think of the Trinity?
Who, me or you?
He's asking both of us. So you go first.
Delete mine this time. um. So I had made fun of Nick because his dog is very anti-Semitic. Yeah, Q calls himself Hitler online. My dog. Oh, he's joking about the Trinity. Oh, because everyone asked about the Trinity to like.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. I mean,
Word.
I could talk about it. I'm not too versed in it, but
Yeah, it would have been a short conversation, but I'm glad it's a joke.
okay, yeah. Because then people start going, well, I don't agree with that perspective.
Yeah. It's a whole fucking nonsense rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Which is why I'm glad it was a joke.
right. But anyway, let me tell you about
Hey, Adam Bear, remember, both of us are significantly inebriated at this point in time.
I'm not too bad yet.
You say that now.
I know. In a couple hours, yes, I will be. Dude, I had some guy that was talking shit about me, and he was a supposed bear, and he like came on my live stream like like it was really late on like a weekend, and sometimes I just live stream and play like Mongolian throat singing music, and that's what I do, and I eat noodles. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm drunk and just having a good time, and but he was talking all this shit, and I'm like, who are you? And then his profile was private. First red flag.
Yo.
Then I follow him, and he's like this like 19-year-old black kid from like Britain, right? But he has a bear icon, and I'm like, is he just like a stealthy like,
Dude, British bike thief? Second red flag.
Black. I'm just saying.
You didn't mention it, but second red flag. Continue.
Being from Britain was the second red flag for me. Being black is fine. I want more black bears.
Well, no, like it's a good bike black bears good, British bears good, British black bears red flag.
And he was 19, like real young, where he hasn't really thought about things. Maybe like he's just getting out there in the world.
Well, now you're just being ageist. How dare you be so hateful?
Oh yeah, fuck young people. So I follow him and he accepts my thing. So he was saying like, dude, you get so drunk on your streams, like he's just making fun of me, and I'm like yeah, I do, like, and but then he follows my wife, and my wife is like, who's this? I'm not gonna say his name.
Well, yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah,
That's called your fucking wife.
Oh, block him. And then she's like, oh shit, I just accepted. I didn't know. And then she blocks him. But it's like, anyway, just speaking about drunken streams, like, there's some like incognito bears out there that are like creepy as fuck.
Oh yeah, dude, I've met multiple creepy fucking bears.
Yeah, so-called bears.
Yeah, exactly. So-called bears. Like, that's why a lot of you guys give me props, is because I'm willing to fucking meet anyone in real life because, fuck it, why not? And a lot of times I meet creepy so-called bears. It comes with the territory.
Baho just said, say his name, Breonna Taylor.
Baho Bear. I know you're making a joke, but for the edification of all those listening, that's actually a satanic spell. Like, believe it or not, the people who it's
also at the same time a pretty good joke, but then I don't like it. At the same
good joke, but it was not appropriate. I did not like the joke in context.
Yeah, two things can be true at the same time. It's a good
I
joke,
concur.
but
so Buck Bear, good joke, bad timing. Good initiative, bad judgment.
He says, I know, that's why it's funny.
So Baho Bear purposefully made the joke knowing it was going to have bad timing. You fucking asshole.
fake bears are easy to spot. As soon as he accepted my, follow, he only had like 9 posts, and so that's another red flag. And then everything he posted was just like, I don't trust this kid. Like you have eyes to see, you have ears to hear.
Yep.
It's just like right away, you're just like, nope, that's not a real bear. No. So I have a friend named Greg that I went to college with. We call him Old Greg because he's like almost going to be 50 now. This is when I was in college, so he was older in college, and he did the same like web design bachelor degree that I did, but he was like, 40 at the time or whatever. So now he's almost going to be 50, and he's single. And me and Bajo Bear actually talked to him. Like we did like a 3-way chat. I was like, hey, get on. I think you'll like Bajo Bear. And then like, I think we just talked about how old Greg was. And we were just making fun of him. But every time I talk about the Bears, he's like, dude, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard. Because he doesn't like, he's like between boomer and millennial.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like has done drugs his whole life and like, raves and you know what I mean? But he's almost 50 now, which is crazy, right? Like to have like, I don't know, for me, like I never thought I would have a 50-year-old friend being 32. And so his perspective is so different than mine, but like that's why we have really good conversations. And every time he talks about I was like, I had a JapJap bear because he's part Japanese, and he's like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then Bajo Bear over this weekend we were talking, and I was like, Bajo means like below, and he's like, oh, does it? Below bear, really, Nick?
Well, so like, I'm volunteering on the Trump campaign thing for whatever fucking Arizona, blah blah blah, and the top campaign dude, believe it or not, a Republican, is an open homosexual fucking sodomite, and so it's like when I was telling him about the whole like bear community, when I first told him about it, he was like, "Oh, that's interesting." But then, literally the next day, he was like, "Oh, Big Bear, eh?" Like making the whole like gay fucking joke. I was
Yeah.
like, "No, dude. Like, I get where you're coming from, but
Oh,
this isn't that."
it's almost like the rainbow, like Take Back the Rainbow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, we're not talking about hairy, fat men that are gay. Have you ever seen a bear? That's one of the sickest animals ever.
Yeah,
And
they're fucking vicious and protective, and like they're honorable, noble animals. They're fucking legit as shit.
and the
And
mothers,
they just don't also happen to hibernate for multiple months, which I'm not against.
and they fucking, protect their young at all costs. Like, take back the bear.
Yeah, like the whole term "mama bear,"
Right.
which defines a fierce, protective mother, comes from the bear community.
Nature, not anti-logos bullshit that you want to put on the world. Like your rainbow is not a gift from God, but like what would you call the rainbow after Noah's flood? Like
I will show you what I call the rainbow. Stand by.
okay. And they're like, "No, this is our flag now." Fuck you, dude. Everyone can enjoy a rainbow. It's in our realm. Assholes.
Here it is.
Literally.
This is the rainbow.
What does it say? And it's back.
And for can
And
you read it?
yeah, and for on.
For no
Yeah, you read it. I can't. It's backwards. I'm having trouble here.
and for no reason at all, God flooded the earth. Hashtag sodomy is sin.
And for no reason at all, Hitler got elected
Right?
out of nowhere. For no reason at all, the earth was flooded and everyone died. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, that's just interesting to me. Like, if you tell an older person that's not like, I don't know, like I never saw it like the Bears. Like I never
Well,
saw it.
I saw a good political assessment of what we're dealing with now versus what the previous like boomer generation was dealing with. In the 1950s, when the whole like Red Scare communism, like that was a whole big deal.
Yeah,
One of the big reasons why that was a big deal is because so many of the military age, like voting males, had just fought in World War I, World War II, and so they knew that even if I disagree with the government stance on what this Red Scare is, I have seen, for Alair Bear, welcome, welcome. I've seen firsthand the horrors of war, and so the Cold War was all of these World War I, World War II veterans like, all right, yeah, the Soviet Union is apparently this big bad guy, but given worst case scenario, we're doing everything we can to not engage in World War III because we're currently scarred emotionally and spiritually
right.
from our experiences in World War II.
It was a
And the reason
boom.
why that's significant is because back then they were fighting communism. Right now, we're fighting communism. It just so happens that the current form of communism comes from the Chinese Communist Party mainly. And obviously there's other sources, blah, 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 nuances, etc.
Yeah.
But mainly the communist influence comes from China. And so in the 50s, yep,
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
no worries. In the 50s and 60s, when this whole Red Scare thing was going on, like, if someone was accused of being a communist, it was very similar to someone being accused as a pedophile with the 1950s morality. It's like, oh, you're that? That's fucking disgusting. You're a horrible person.
Right.
But now, in when like someone is accused of being a communist or a supporter of the Chinese Communist Party, it's like, oh, you support China? Good for you, man. Like, identity politics.
I just fucked up my yeah, and I just was I was watching something. My video is kind of fucked right now. It like the text, the typing thing is pushing all of us into this little corner. But anyway, I was watching something, and when they added "In God We Trust" into the Pledge of Allegiance, it wasn't always from the inception of the Pledge of Allegiance, and on our money, "In God We Trust." That was added later because of the perception that communism was so anti-religion and anti God just in general, and we were trying to reinforce that we are a godly nation and don't be a damn dirty pinko. You know what I mean? So that's when we added the "In God We Trust" into the Pledge of Allegiance. Have you heard that?
I have.
And that I thought that was very interesting. Like I didn't know, like during the Democratic debates or Democratic. Did I talk about this before? Seems like I did. During the
The
Democrat,
primaries?
the not debates, but uh, like when Biden, the not the debates, but when they come out and just talk about themselves. What is it called?
All right, so pause. Think about what you're trying to say. I'm gonna
Okay.
answer the comments a little bit for a second.
Okay.
So Donkey Kong, you're saying the whole war stuff is all lies and a game. It's so ridiculous. Nick, stop paying attention to what I'm saying and think about what you're trying to say. I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh,
It's so ridiculous.
yeah. I'm
It's so ridiculous. And I'm glad the world is at peace right now. Donkey Kong Bear.
Kind of wrong on that one, sister.
Really appreciate that you are a regular viewer and commenter, etc., etc. That being said, do you do you really think the world is at peace right now? And before you answer that, if you really think the world is at peace right now, you have not done your research. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that you're ignorant because as of right now, off the cuff, I could probably mention at least 4 or 5 different conflicts that are going on right the fuck now. The world is not at peace.
And that's no hate on you, Donkey Kong.
Exactly, exactly. Like Donkey Kong, we
We're,
fucking love you, but you just said something that's not necessarily informed.
and we're a community of questioning, right? So we can have these discussions.
Oh, so maybe she was just like her intention was, could it be the world is at peace right now? So let's ponder this. Is there any possible perspective in which we could argue the world is at peace?
Oh, well, actually, what she just said actually brought up when I used to listen to Ben Shapiro. Yeah, I know. But if you look at the statistics at this time in our life, there's less conflict and war going on than any other time in history. So as a whole, maybe now I wouldn't say we're at peace, but there is less and less conflict.
Well, I wouldn't say that there's less and less conflict, but I would agree that the latter half of the 21st or the latter half of the 20th century and our new emerging 21st century has had a relatively low amount of international conflict.
Yeah,
Totally agree with that.
she
But
just yeah, that's what I meant. Like I get that.
the reason why I would say that is because in the late 1700s to early to mid 1800s, there was something called the Pax Britannica, where Britain had such an overwhelming level of military might that any other country that tried to fuck with them got immediately screwed. And so, because of the massive military might of Britain, for close to 200 years, like worldwide, realm wide, global wide, whatever term you want to use, there was peace. Because if anyone fucked up the peace, Britain fucked them up. And it was the Pax Britannica. And so the Pax Roma, it was very similar.
Right.
It lasted for, like, what was it? Almost 300 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The
Okay.
Pax Romana were for many hundreds of years
Yeah, Pax Romana.
because every single other country within the sphere of Rome was too weak to even begin to question them, and Rome fucked them up whenever they tried to do anything.
Well, it's kind of like the Patriot Act, where it's like they call it the Patriot Act because it sounds nice, but it's actually an anti-Patriot Act or like an anti-freedom. So like Pax Romana is peace, like peace in Rome. Pax means peace, and Rome, Romana is Rome. They call,
I would agree with what you're saying if indeed the Patriot Act uh,
that was
extended the international military control.
I was just talking about the name,
Oh
like
yeah,
they
in
make
name makes
they,
sense, 100%.
they make a nice name like peace Rome, like Rome peace,
Well,
and then
dude,
but
that's
really
Hegelian dialectic. That's all. That's all it is.
I know that's what I was getting at with the name. It has nothing to do with the Patriot Act itself, but just the name of it.
Well, so like I understand where you're coming from a Hegelian dialectic perspective, in that the Pax Romana, Pax Britannica, like this supposed peaceful time was only allowed because of a very powerful military force.
That was
But
squashing any kind of uprising in their dominion.
yes, but that being
It
said,
wasn't really peaceful for everybody, but it did allow peace for that certain empire.
yes,
Yeah. So it's kind of a double-edged sword or something. A catch-22.
I definitely see where you're coming from, but I guess where I'll disagree is that like Jeremiah 17, chapter 17, verse 9, I want to say, is basically says that the human heart is so wicked and deceived, not even the own man can understand his heart. And so that chaotic
Mm.
existence is within every single human heart throughout the entirety of history,
Yeah.
then it would make and especially given the Mouse Utopia experiment. Did you see Owen's new stream?
Yeah, that was a really good stream.
Yeah, I'm so like I've known about that for almost a
Me too.
decade.
I know.
I'm
I know. Me
so
too.
glad he brought that up.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up.
Well, no, but he brought it up in his stream,
Oh, he
and
brought.
I like because like I've known about it for a while, but I'm really glad that he brought it up and exposed all the bears to it.
Yeah. My
And
wife
so,
was watching it with me, and we
uh-huh,
haven't watched Owen for like a couple weeks. Like it just we just keep missing it or something.
uh-huh.
And I was watching like something, and I was like, you know what? Let's just watch an Owen stream. Like, I'm tired of all this gravelly shit. Like, I don't know what we were watching, but and she's like, wow, that's so interesting. Like how the mice become gay and like, you know, like all this stuff. And I was like, see, I've known about this for years. Like, cause I have pet rats my entire life. So like
Yeah.
I always like I knew about like the there's other experiments too that he didn't even talk about that are like the
Oh
predecessor.
yeah. There's tons of
Yeah,
experiments he didn't fucking touch on.
yeah.
But I'm glad like this is one of the most easily like explainable, which is why I'm glad he brought it up.
Look at this, and then look at our society. Do you see the similarities here? And she's like, oh, this is so crazy. I'm like, and I was telling her, I was like, see, this is why I like what this is why we moved here, because I knew about this and we lived in San Diego, and I was like, we gotta go. Because I knew where it was gonna go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
got out. And yeah, it's a really good thing for people to know about that, those multiple experiments.
Well, so like the great thing about the area you moved into is that in 20 years, all of your neighbors will be dead. Like you're just gonna magically inherit an entire mountaintop kingdom.
that that is actually super accurate. That's what's so funny about Idlewild. It's like this tiny little town of old people from LA, and they're all dying. They're all like really really old. And then
Oh, did I tell
all the
you?
young people, I there's only like 30 young people in town, and I know them all, and they're all like really good homies. They're not, not necessarily Christian or whatever, but they're like good people. And so when they all do die, the old people, uh, we're gonna have a fortress up here. It's gonna be like Machu Picchu. We're just gonna build like a little mountain. Like you have to. The only way you can get here is through like a llama, like a couple llamas.
Well, dude, literally, you just shut off the 2 or 3 roads that you have into your town.
Two. Yeah.
Yeah, 2. All right, so you only have 2.
Yeah. One in, one out.
Oh yeah, so I drove both of those roads. They're both equally terrifying.
Yeah, they are.
Like cut off both of those roads, not too hard for the defenders.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I was like, all right, we're moving to Idlewild. Even my grandma, very like base Christian woman, she's like, I don't know if this is the right choice for you, Nicholas. And I'm like, trust me, grandma. Like this is the move. Like it's a small little town, two entrances in, and when shit goes down, I'll be good.
Well, that being said, you're not growing enough food.
I know. Well, I'm dude, 22 by 12-foot garden I'm building right now.
Well, yeah, I saw you. I literally just saw your backyard.
Yeah. No,
But like,
that's going up. And then we have chickens that are gonna lay in a couple weeks. I'm just starting here, bro.
all right, fair enough, fair enough.
I mean,
So like,
what do you
I
got? What you got in
say you take your little like coward fence and you upgrade your coward fence into a real boy fence
Yep.
with a gate so that you can have easy access to all of that national property behind your fucking area.
Yep.
That's extra resources.
Right now. You can go out there and just get firewood all day.
Yeah. So upgrade your like pathetic little gate fence thing.
Well,
You don't even have a gate back there.
Have you seen what I'm working on? My gate?
You didn't show me your gate. I just saw your gay boy fence.
Well, I posted, and well, maybe you don't see my post, but yeah, I just made like an awesome 5-foot tall bear-proof fence.
Nice.
So I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Do you need help building that? Like, I know you've got like a process. Once I get home from work after 5 o'clock, I like to have long projects. Yeah, I fucking get that. But
Yeah,
do you, like,
I'm building it in sections. So it's like so I'm building the gate, and then next is I'm building another section of fence. Then the rest attached to that man fence is the gay boy fence. And then I'm going to take down the gay boy fence one section at a time and build another section of man fence. And I'm just going to keep going, boop, 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 because it's a lot of fence.
well, yeah. So you're saying that you would prefer to enjoy the longevity of the project over having bears come over and assist you with the building of your fence?
I would love to have you over and help me make the fence. I'm only one man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I only can do like so much at a time. Plus, I work 8 hours a day from home because of coronavirus. God.
So if I drive up on like a Friday and like,
Yeah, I got lumber. Yeah, I can put you to work.
all right, cool. But my condition is that I'm gonna buy a tent or either A, buy a tent
I have
and
it.
sleep in your front yard or backyard, or B, sleep on the couch because like I really appreciated how like homecoming, like your wife was and everything, like making me the whole bed and stuff. But I felt like really guilty like when I left because and like I didn't like completely like make the whole bed and fold all the blankets and stuff.
That you should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil's here. This is my homie Phil from high school. No filter. He's not gonna like anything we're talking about. Well, maybe we're talking about building a fence, and what a lot of times when he comes up, he wants to post a tent in my backyard too.
Well, a lair bear.
I own a tent.
The reason why I don't own a tent is because the last time I let a bear stay in my apartment, my tent mysteriously went missing around the time he left.
He stole it. Look at how
I'm not alleging that. I'm just saying it may or may not be a coincidence.
look at how nice Donkey Kong is. She has no idea who Phil is, and she's like, "Hi, Phil." That's why I love the bear community.
Right?
That's not a bear. What, Phil? Oh, a bear. Yeah, if a bear steals your tent, not a bear.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing about it is this individual. Hello, Phil. Welcome, friend. Do you have any topics you would like us to discuss?
He's my best friend. Like.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's never joined. I guess Instagram says Nick's going live with JapJap Bear, and he gets a notification or something. Or he's just creeping around on my account, and he's like, Nick's live right now. Who's he talking to?
It was just like, how can I possibly hurt Nick? Let me stalk him in all of his Instagram live streams to hurt my best friend.
No, he would never hurt me.
Well, obviously.
We punched each other a couple times, but remember when you came up, I was doing a 3-inch punches on you, and you said they were
You
wrong.
were attempting to, yes.
Yeah, I was attempting to. Yeah, he thinks the same way as you do, that I do them wrong. But then both of you guys can't do it at all, so
Well, you never asked me to attempt it.
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know. I was drunk.
You didn't.
Okay.
You exhibited your mad skills, and I was just being patient, and then you tried to escalate things, and I was just trying to de-escalate things the whole time. Like, the more drunk you got, the more violent you, like, friendly violent you became. Like, hey, guy, like, let's just fight. Let's just, like, as buddies, let's just, like, battle. Like, no big deal. I was like,
like you said, I was friendly violent, right?
Yes.
Like, I wasn't, like, trying to come at you, like...
Yeah, no, like, at no point did you ever, like, attempt to accost me. You were just like, hey, man, like, let's fight. Like,
Yeah.
Let's fight, man. And I was like, no, bro, I don't want to fight you.
Me and Phil have... I've known Phil... Let's see what he said. That's how it goes sometimes.
Friendly battle.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it goes sometimes, man.
Yeah, Phil, exactly. Phil, spot on. Sometimes that's how it goes. But, you know, like, me and Nick, we've been video Instagram chat buddies for a couple of months. But, like, the first time I'm meeting him and he's letting me sleep in the home where his wife and child sleep, I don't want to fight him for any reason.
It's just, you know, I don't know. I like UFC and martial arts and weapons, and like I just think that men should know that shit. You know what I mean? So like I think when I get drunk, I'm just like if I like you, like as a man, like I want you part of my tribe. I want you to be able to like protect.
Well, yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
It's literally your entire perspective. You're like, JapJap Bear, I just want you to know how to do this. I just want to ensure that you know how to defend yourself. I was like,
did I say
bro.
that?
Yeah, dude. Like, that was your main line. It's like, I want to know that you know how to do this. I was like, bro, like, you've seen my swords on the walls. Like, I've got, like, you know my Marine Corps experience. Like, I know how to do this. I don't want to fight you.
See what Phil said? I have to lie at work from the bruises of a weekend when he's at my house.
That's hilarious.
It's good to get punched in the face. It is good to get punched in the face. At least.
Oh, yeah. Every single man should be punched in the face at least once.
Well, I would say at least 3 times. Like
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But at minimum, at least once. But I would agree, yes.
Minimum once, yeah.
Let's increase that minimum to 3.
If you've never been punched in the face as a man, are you a man?
Are you really a man?
Like, seriously.
No,
like seriously.
It's hilarious, but also accurate. I concur.
Yeah. Me and Phil, he's a really good swordsman, by the way. We do the wooden sword, the katanas that are like wooden. I forgot what they're called. Like, not the Bushido. No, not Bushido.
Phil, I challenge you to a sword fight.
That would, dude. You might get rocked. You guys fight too.
If your friend Phil can actually rock me in a sword fight,
yeah,
that will literally be the first time I've ever had my ass kicked in a sword fight. and I've been in a lot. Like I literally got suspended from high school because I was sword fighting in a grass lot across the street from the school with my friends.
Have you used the wooden swords, like the practice katanas?
Yes, like in one of my bags in my closet, I've got 4 or 5 of them that have been used to such an extent that we had to use duct tape to preserve
Yeah.
the integrity of the blades.
Yeah.
And then even after that, I bought because the duct tape wasn't working that well. So then I bought a bunch of pool noodles and I cut the pool noodles to appropriate lengths and put the pool noodles over the blades and that worked. No, like yes, I get it. That's a bitch move because you're technically padding it,
No,
but long term, that foam shit it maintains the integrity of the blade, which is what I gave a fuck about.
no. No. Because then your sharpness to block, because you know that it's not going to hurt as much, your sharpness is dulled, let's say.
Not true.
I would argue that till the end of time.
So, Nick, I understand that
I
that's
think
what
Phil
you're trying
would
to
too.
argue, but understanding your perspective, understanding where you're coming from, have you ever fought with wooden practice blades and beaten the shit out of people that you care about in training to the point where your wooden solid practice blades are basically just like wooden like splinters?
Yes.
Oh, touche then.
We had to duct tape one and then we continued.
You had a duct tape one. All of mine are duct tape, bro. You know
Well,
what? Let me go over and just show you this.
I mean, yeah, see, Phil says yes. He just,
I already like Phil. I already like Phil.
dude, you'd love Phil. I love Phil. I love you, Phil. You're my boy. I think I should like last time JapJap and Bajo Rep, I was like, hey, look at this video of me and Phil and we're taking a teeny shot at a BB.
All right, so
See me goggles at least, and then you're okay.
let me turn another set of lights on. All right, here we go. Do you see how torn up this wooden blade is?
Wait, let me
Even the duct tape support.
let me see your the handle. Is it the bamboo ones, or is it solid?
It's solid wood.
Okay, yeah, that's what we used. Yeah, that's what we used too. Yeah, Phil's quite a swordsman. I like to think that I am, not as fast. I don't.
Yeah, so out of all, like, I used to have 5, but I only have 3 left, and I just took the other one out of its little foam case because
Dude, I don't watch porn anymore. What are you doing?
well, no, like, dude, like, fuck you. But like, the reason why I started using foam on my wooden practice swords is because I was going through so many wooden practice swords on such a consistent basis. Like, it cost me a lot of fucking money. And so I was like, all right, how can I not just like spend all this money on wooden practice swords?
For like $7.
Well, yeah, but when you're training fucking hard and you break a sword every other week, that shit adds up, bro. And when you're in high school, you have no money.
So what's your favorite stance?
I don't like. I've never trained in a traditional like thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying like name the stance, but like like what's your like what do you what's your go-to? Yeah, Phil's is high guard, which I hate.
So if I'm using a two-handed sword, I will generally put my left hand higher, right hand lower, with the sword like pointed down, kind of like this, and it gives me a lot of mobility, and this is like using my weak side. And so the weak side generally is used to feel out the enemy and figure out like what the enemy's strengths and weaknesses are. And once you figure that out, then you switch it up, and now the right hand is forward and the left hand is subsidiary, and then obviously you have your footwork. But like basically, it's like this is like a left hand forward is to figure out the enemy's defects and their defenses, and then you switch to your strong hand, and then you engage the enemy. But if you're using just a one hand grip, then it's basically more about footwork at that point. Where if I have a longer blade, then obviously I want to keep the enemy at more of a distance, and my footwork will be according. And then if I have a shorter blade, then I will want to engage my enemy much more quickly, and the footwork will be different accordingly. It's just like it really just depends on what your specific fighting style is, what the enemy's fighting style is, and what weapons both opponents have on hand.
The main thing is what your opponent's fighting style is, not what your fighting style is, because you have to adapt, right?
Well, it's like what Sun Tzu says. If you know yourself completely and you know yourself completely, you will never lose any battles. But if you only know yourself and not the enemy, you will lose roughly half your battles. And if you know not yourself nor the enemy, then you will lose all your battles.
Right. Dude,
so Phil is a fucking special boy and says he's a spearman. All right, Phil, do you want to play that fucking game? We can play that fucking game. I think I have a spear. I don't know.
Dude, I would literally pay like tons of money to see you guys fight with wooden swords.
All right. Phil, I do not have a spear, but I do have a pole arm. And in high school, I used to, like me and my friends, used to fight each other with all sorts of instruments. Like those little like fucking sleds, like circular sleds that people used to use to slide down hills in the snow.
Is that
we would use those as shields. And one of my best friends, oh, this is way too small. All right, I'm going to have to use a smaller version of this.
Did you put a bayonet into that spear?
Well, I was putting this together, and as I was just trying to spin it, I accidentally engaged the ceiling. So, like, using a smaller version, I'm very familiar with using pole arms to a very deadly effect. Like, like, my entire high school, like, I guess, what was it, experience. I'm not left-handed. But my entire, like, high school experience was almost every afternoon, me and my best friends, we would get together and beat the living shit out of each other with normal shit. Like, this is not a spear. This is just a flagpole.
It's like what, ash wood?
Yeah, like, literally. Here's one end and the other end of where the flag fucking goes, and then you just screw it in.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happens that this flagpole was too large for me to spin around, because as I tried to spin it around, it hit the fucking ceiling.
I really do think that, like, you and Phil should come up and do like we'll like make like an arena, and I'll participate too. I'll participate to like be like the lower character in Mortal Kombat, you know, like the guy that nobody chooses. Like, and I'll get out of breath like way too soon. And I think that like you guys should be the main event, and then like and I'll stream it on for the Bears, and then it would be awesome, and I would take PayPal donations for the pay.
Well, if we really want to get our PayPal donations to the max, then you're gonna have to write a handwritten letter to Big Bear and be like, "Hey, on this date is the big event between JapJap Bear and my best friend Phil,
Yeah,
and they will beat the living shit out of each other with pieces of plastic and wood."
Because okay, so the Bears, we talk about like don't masturbate to porn. Get married. Be respectful of your wife. Have children. Raise your children right. All these things that men should be doing, like get guns, protect your property, but then like what about like fighting? Like what happens when all the bullets are gone? I know there's machines where you can repack the bullets and stuff like that. But like what about just straight fighting? What do you think? What do you think? I know Phil's like, yeah, of course, every man should know how to fucking fight.
So that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, I know where to look.
I have random cash for weapons.
Of course you do, Handy Adam Bear. All right. So
I think that would be so hilarious. This might be obviously another one of our sans cocaine ideas. We're not actually doing cocaine, but we're having these ideas that never actually come to fruition. You know what I mean? I have a cache of weapons and randomly pick them based on the card game. Oh gosh.
all right, so here's what I'm thinking. The 1st of November is a Sunday.
Uh-huh.
That means I will either get paid on the Friday, the 30th of October, or, yeah, I'll probably get paid on the 30th. So I can drive up to you on a Halloween weekend, probably.
Okay.
If not, then the next weekend.
Well,
and
yeah,
then
Phil's just now joining the stream for the first time, and now he's being elected to be in a death battle.
Yes, Phil, I want to fight you in a death battle. I feel as though your friend Phil is super fucking cool and he's down for this.
Oh yeah, well he's my best friend, so if you like me, you like him.
Yes. Thus, Phil. I am challenging you to a death battle with fake weapons.
Oh dear! If you challenge him, I don't know if that's gonna. I mean, that's.
I'm officially challenging him because I want to ensure that me and your best friend have a legitimate battle that's not to the death, but
of course, and
a legitimate battle.
Right.
Because for a great many years, I have not had a legitimate opponent to fight me in hand-to-hand combat. So the fact that your best friend is proficient in hand-to-hand combat, I want to challenge him.
Yeah, I've only beat him like a handful of times compared to the multiple handfuls that he's beaten me. So if you think you're proficient, I think this is a good matchup.
I'm about it. Nick, do you want to jump back on? We got 10 seconds left.
Yeah, if you want me to keep going, I'll go. I'm not drunk yet.
Word.